You anoint my head with oil, is what David said in Psalm 23, the second part of verse 5, leading us to tip number 11: honor and affirm the value and the importance of your kids. You know, one of the great responsibilities that we have as dads is to show our kids that we value them, that they are very important to us, and that we honor them as our kids as well. Because in Middle Eastern culture, when there were guests that walked into a home, the host of that home would anoint their heads as a sign of respect, as a sign of showing that they are significant, they are important, they are valued, and they are welcome. And this is the same responsibility we have as dads who are called to shepherd our children. And so how can we affirm value and worth? How can we show our kids that they are important to us, that they are valuable to us, and that we honor them, and that we want to, show them how important they are? Well, one way to do that is by showing our affection to them. More than anything, more than the stuff that we can give our kids, the kids are looking for, especially our dads, as dads, our affection. I know one thing, that no matter how late I go, one of the things that both my boys long for and look for, even when I'm busy, they would ask, so Dada, when are you going to be free? Can we do this with you? Can we do that with you? More than anything I give them, they long and look for affection. So one of the ways, dads, that we show importance to our kids is by showing them our affection. Don't hold back in hugging them, in embracing them, in just showing you love them. And then another thing is by being attentive to them and giving our attention to them. There are times that sometimes, even while we are in the middle of doing something, especially in this time, if you're working from home and your work involves online, sometimes, kids have, sometimes their timing is such that they would want to come and say something or talk to you while you're sometimes in your most busiest moments. And while we can navigate through that and teach our kids how we can do that, in the same time, I think it's so important and vital for us to pay attention to what our kids are saying, not to reject them, not to ignore them, and not to pretend we don't hear them. And dads, even if you're watching TV or reading the newspaper or reading a book, when our kids come and speak to us, let's switch off that TV. Let's close the magazine we are reading, the book that we are reading, and let's turn towards our children, lock eyes with them, and show them as they are speaking. Let's pay attention to what they are saying. Be attentive to what they are saying, so they realize that they are important to us and that we respect them and we value them as our kids as well. Another thing that is that we must acknowledge them. We must acknowledge them. When they do something good, when they do something to be helpful, they do something, nice, acknowledge them. Acknowledge what they're doing. Acknowledge their presence. When they walk out or walk in from, whether it's school or whether they walk in to the home and you happen to be there, no matter how busy you are, make sure that you acknowledge your presence. Make sure you acknowledge by showing them you notice them as well. And then another thing is to be available for them. Sometimes we are living in such a busy world, but I pray as dads, one of the great ways to show how important kids are is by us being available to them when they need us. And dads, our children need us, and so we must be available when they need us. There have been times I've made the mistake, and I wish I could say that I'm a perfect dad. I'm not. There are times that I've failed in some of these areas, getting better at it. But sometimes our kids come and sometimes they want to talk, they want to do something, and we are too busy. And then suddenly we realize, you want to talk about it, but at that moment, the time has passed, the moment has passed, because we failed to be available. I pray that we will be available to our kids, and also that we would affirm the great good qualities in them. We would affirm their talents. We would affirm their abilities. We would affirm characteristics in their life, so they can be encouraged and they can grow to become great people, great children of God, great followers of Jesus Christ, and even great pillars of virtue in society. And it begins by us showing how important they are. Let's be fathers who add value to our children, who adds importance and significance to our children, and not hold back in being those who are affectionate, attentive, acknowledging, available, and affirming to our kids. May God give you and me the strength to be such dads. God bless you.